Hi, my name is Cortni Robson, and I researched ABC books over time. For this study, I analyzed ABC books published over the last 60 years based on the frequency, complexity, and reality of the words used. For a little background, ABC books started out as what is called a horn book. This was actually a slab of wood with a lesson-inscribed piece of vellum covered by a translucent sheet of horn tacked onto it. These lessons, dating as far back as 1504, usually contained the alphabet, the vowels, the syllables, and the Lord's Prayer. This is because at this time, people were learning to read for the purpose of reading the Bible. And since the first public school didn't appear in America until 1635, it's quite possible that the children of the settlers of Jamestown, Virginia in 1607, who were searching for religious freedom, brought these horn books over with them. The horn book eventually gave way to what is called the battledore. This was also a slab of wood or cardboard, and while most of the text varied, they always had the alphabet. What is unique about the battledore is that, aside from the lesson, they also carried illustrations, and this is our first sight of entertainment being mixed into learning. The battledore eventually led to the ABC books we know today, filled with their large letters and bright, colorful illustrations. For this study, I was able to attain access to 16 different alphabet books that were printed over the last 60 years. I wrote down the words used for each individual letter, and after doing this, I decided it would be best for the purpose of my study to only utilize books that used a singular noun for each letter. Sadly, this removed 9 books from my sample size, leaving me with only 7 to work with. After putting these books into a spreadsheet and sorting them by publication year, I highlighted words that were repeated at least once. These were then considered against their frequency, complexity, and reality. The first 2 letters of note are C and E. These letters both have the highest repetition frequency at 71.43%. This means that 5 out of the 7 words were the same. It is also interesting to note that these 5 reoccurrences were in the same 5 books. For C, they use the word cat. This word is known as one of the first words children learn, especially for the letter C. This is due to its shortness and simplicity and its rhyming capabilities. Therefore, it makes complete sense that this would be a highly repeated word. For E, however, the word elephant is used. This word is long, a 3-syllable one, and yet it is highly repeated. This is due to the fact that it is one of the only E nouns that is easily recognizable to children. Elephants come up in zoos, books, or real life, and they are used in movies and shows utilizing animals as main characters. They're also an easily recognizable animal, and this allows for ease when creating ABC books with pictures. The next letter of note is P, and this letter has the lowest and only repetition frequency of 0%. In all 7 books, none of them utilize the same word. 3 of the words used are short, simple, 1-syllable words. These were paint, pen, and pig. These are easy words for children, as 2 are common things they will be introduced to, and pig, like elephant, is a highly commercialized word for children. 2 of the words were longer with 2 syllables, penguin and peacock. However, again to their animalistic nature, they are not challenging for young children when they are presented with a visual aid. The final 2 words are longer and more complex, porcupine and pumpkinhead. The usage of these 2 words is confusing as they are not common things. For children, porcupine may be confusing even with or more because of a visual aid, as they could interchange it with a hedgehog. This defeats the purpose of trying to help the child learn a letter, as porcupine and hedgehog do not begin with the same one. Pumpkinhead is also not a real thing, and while it fits perfectly in its specific book, it is a challenging word to read for young children. The next letters of note are U and Z. These letters are unique in that they are the only 2 letters that only have one non-repeated word. Another interesting thing to note is that they are both broken up into a 4:2:1 frequency ratio. Also, the one not repeated for both letters is from the same book. For these 2 letters, that ratio is largely due to the fact that they are uncommon starting letters and more commonly found in the body of a word. For U, there's a 57.14% frequency of the word umbrella. There's also a 28.57% frequency of the word unicorn. These are both unique words in that they are longer three-syllable words, yet are highly easy for children. Umbrellas are strange in the fact that they are easily recognizable to children, especially those who live in rainier climates, but not always utilized by or commonly found in literature and media for children. Unicorns are everywhere. They are children's TV, movies, literature, bedroom decor, school supplies, clothes, toys, and so much more. Honestly, the fact that that word does not have a higher frequency, especially in the newer of books utilized, is interesting in and of itself. And this word was the word of choice for the oldest and newest book examined. For Z, there's a 57.14% frequency of the word zebra. There's also a 28.57% frequency of the word zipper. Like other animals, zebra is highly used and highly distinguishable, making the word easily recognizable for children when presented with a visual aid. Zipper is something they will come across in everyday life. Jeans, backpacks, coats, some shoes, all use zippers, making the word highly recognizable when presented with a visual aid. The final letter to note is X. This word is of note not because of its repetition frequency, but because of its unique words used. Here we find 3 words of note: Xenurus, Xmas tree, and Zhaixing. The first book was utilized in a book about animals, so it's a fitting choice. However, like Porcupine, it is controversial in its role. Xenurus is a subspecies of armadillo, so a child may easily be confused when seeing what they think is an armadillo in the X section. The next word of note, Xmas tree, isn't even a real word. It is a semi-common shortening of the term Christmas tree, but is in and of itself not a true word, which may be confusing to children. The final word, Zhaixing, like Xenurus, is fitting for its book. However, it is unknown whether Zhaixing's story is real or not, and it is not a common story in America as it is from Chinese culture. Granted, this is but a small consideration when one notices that the reality of all the other words used in Kyle Sullivan's Monster ABC are in question as well. While ABC books have changed drastically since their beginning as the Hornbook and Battledore, there has not been much changes in the last 60 years. While one could argue that specialty books such as Kyle Sullivan's Monster ABC are becoming more popular/common, this was not the focus of the study and therefore not proved or denied. From this study, we learned that it is extremely difficult to judge the exact changing of ABC books over time. This is due to their wide range of frequencies, complexity, and reality of words used. A major limitation of this study was the lack of access to a large sample size. This made it hard to statistically prove the validity of anything discussed. It would have been more interesting to be able to truly prove or disprove the frequency ratios. However, due to time and budget constraints, I was unable to acquire more full text. Also, this study is open to some interpretation differences due to the fact that it is a qualitative analysis. This means that certain things, such as stated complexity of words, could be disputed by another researcher, such as ones from a different generation, global location, or ethnicity than me, or even someone whose first language isn't English.